What is going on, guys? Solomon back here today with another video. We are working on the R32. I'm gonna bring it in here in a second. I had to do some moving around, swept the garage out a little bit, got all the cars pulled up the driveway so we can slide this in. The birds have been on a rampage. If we could get this going today, I'd like to get it down to the car wash. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. The point of today's video, I went to Harbor Freight and this kind of caught my curiosity. It's a pneumatic dent puller. So it hooks up to the air compressor and it gives you some unmatched suction on dents and stuff like that. And it has a slide hammer on it. So, and then a couple different of these little guys. So today I'm just gonna kind of demonstrate that. I'm not gonna say this is gonna be like a how-to pull dents out unless it works really good, then I'm gonna call it that. So excited for another Harbor Freight tool review, seeing how the last one went really well, comments and everything like that. Just kidding, there was some nice comments on the last video, but people, you know, tend to have their opinions on tool review videos. So this is just gonna be an overview, my experience, nothing crazy. We're gonna see if we can pull the dents out. But let's get the car pulled in here and I can show you what we're working with. All right, first start in a few weeks. Let's see how she's kicking. Oh yeah. This car is a champ, man. Look at these seats too. The seats in this car are more comfortable and more sport feeling than the RS3. Probably the nicest seats I've ever fit in. I wish I honestly could swap these seats into the RS3, but let's get this thing pulled in. All right, so we made it to the garage. You probably saw, I kind of showed this dent off in the last video. I'm not sure how it's kind of coming up on camera. I'm gonna try and get the light to hit it, but this, I truly don't know how effective this is gonna be, just because this dent occurred due to the rear tub kind of collapsing inwards. So plan B, you know, some type of pulling to, you know, pull that rear tub out would be great. Just wanted to try this out, see if we can maybe hit it with a quick fix. I think this is like $60 from Harbor Freight. But let's take a look and see. I'm thinking we probably need to hit it where the most surface area is, probably the smaller suction cup. I'm thinking anyway, just because this is probably gonna overlap. Well, I don't know. Maybe we'll try this one first. I don't know. We're gonna mess around. We're gonna see what we could do. First things first, this actually does come with the attachment to hook right up to the quick release on a air compressor. So we'll be able to just pop this right on. It says to start around 90 PSI and then work your way up if it's not providing enough suction. I think it said the max is right around like 120. So keep that in mind. That's really the only thing that was in the instruction manual that fell on the floor there. Outside of that, they just said to make sure you have a clean surface to put this on. And outside of that, it's pretty self-explanatory. We're gonna get it suctioned on there and then just, yeah, start pulling with the slide hammer. Let's see what happens. All right, so taking a look at the actual device. Woo, there we go, pop that right off. There are threads in there, so it looks like we have a threaded application. You know what, we're just gonna start with this big one, see what happens. I mean, we can always switch down. They come with these protective coverings. I'm sure the cleaner and non-marred you can keep this little toilet plunger, the better for longevity, I would think, but what do I know? Okay, cool, so we got, yep, threads on there. Just gonna go ahead and pop that on. It's a pretty cool tool, man. It's like pretty heavy duty in the hand. It definitely doesn't feel flimsy at all. Like the weight on this should, you know, hopefully prove to be enough. That screws on real easily. And we got this nice slide hammer. I can tell this is probably something you might want to regularly apply a little bit of PB Blaster or something, because I can already see it kind of marring up, just moving this back and forth. But this is the valve here to release and start the air. Let's get it hooked up to the air compressor. All right, so we got it hooked up. Let's see where we're at pressure-wise. I got 90. Just so we're not messing around, why don't we just crank it up, huh? Said 120 is probably the highest. This air compressor's probably gonna kick on here soon, so if that happens, I'll just block it out. Let me go ahead and get set down here. All right, here goes nothing. I have the suction turned off to get this in place. I'm trying to get it right here, get it pushed in there, get the suction applied there. All right, so I went at it from a few different points. It almost looked like we were starting to get some progress up in this top corner, but I don't know, it is not. I have it I cranked it the whole way up to 120 for suction, and it is not really moving like I thought it was going to. You can see it's still extremely noticeable. So I'm gonna throw this on time lapse and just kind of mess with it and just see what I can get. You know, I'll try the different sizes and everything on it, but so far not so good. All right. Quick little update. I barely even got into that time lapse before this happened. So I started to feel a lot of air leaking from the connection here. One thing to check before you start, this was like finger tight and there was no sealer on this at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and seal this up with a little bit of that pipe thread stuff, whatever the heck you call it. Get this back together. So I'm thinking possibly we were losing some serious suction there without having that sealed up. So we'll get that fixed up and keep trying. Not much of a difference so far. All right, everybody. So I've given this about a half hour to an hour and it's back in the box. I don't really know where it's failing. I mean, it's pulling, it suctions on here, but like, if you give it the little bit of force that you really would need to kind of pull a more creased in dent out like this, it disconnects. I think that's the biggest thing, is it just snaps loose when you apply a decent amount of pressure. So it didn't work for me. So if you have similar dent, similar situation, you know, I cleaned this up real nice, made sure we had clean surfaces on there, ran the air compressor up to like 120, which was like the max that it could go according to the user manual, and it still didn't want to stay on there. So we're probably gonna have to go the professional route, get a body shop to do some paintless dent repair. I know there's a lot more strong options that you can do, like glue type stuff that you can pull from specific points, and obviously the professionals know where to hook up on that. So we're probably just gonna leave this go. This was not a success. This will not be titled a how-to video. This will be just, you know, more or less testing that out. The next thing I want to do is try and pull this tub back out to the position where it's in. I think that also may be a reason this is kind of just like pressured into the dent that it is. So if we could hook up to a tree or something and just kind of pull this light metal out and away from there, you can see it's kind of pushing into the trunk, and then obviously this is the distance that it was pushed in from the crash. Not something you can really see from the car when the trunk's shut and everything's all put together. It doesn't really look like anything ever happened outside of that dent. So I might, after pulling that out, give this one more shot, but outside of that, we still got the big dent. All in all though, not the worst thing in the world. You know, it's just a dent. It didn't crack the paint or anything like that. There's no rust, so really not the worst thing in the world for what this car is used for. This car is used for, you know, just shredding on roads that are fun to drive on. It's definitely not a show car by any means. So I think that's it for today's video, guys. Appreciate you watching. We're gonna keep grinding. I think the next thing that we need to get addressed, this rear brake is definitely hanging up. So I'm gonna tear this caliper down and, you know, work some oil into it and see if maybe there's just something stuck in there or what's going on this side. But I'd like to get this out for a day cruise or something like that. Just make sure we're all set to go, get some fresh gas in there. Wookiees in the Woods is rapidly approaching, so you'll see some more videos. I think the only thing that I really am gonna do to the RS3 at this point is change the oil and just make sure the mid pipes and everything are still tight on the bottom there. That car's running great. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Leave a thumbs up if this helped you not buy this. If you think your dent may be a little bit smaller or easier, this might work. The suction that it gives really was not what I was expecting though. I don't know if that's just pneumatic tools in general, but take that for what you will. See you guys.